All right, what's up? Welcome into Snuffing Torches Season 49 premiere recap. Got myself, got Clemmer. Couple housekeeping notes. First of all, this is, I think, the first ever Snuffing Torches episode that isn't live right after the show. We are pre-recording this on Tuesday afternoon because I have a Mascots live show in Chicago Wednesday night, so we would not be able to do it right after the show, but me and Clemmer were lucky enough to go to the Survivor Influencer thing that I did, premiere event in New York City last Wednesday, and they showed us the premiere episode there. Only me and Clemmer saw it, so that's why it's just us two. We'll have Nate, John, whoever, Jeff, others on throughout the season as well, and some players guests. But yeah, right now this is not live, so you can talk in the chat if you want. I don't even know if we're going to have a chat. I don't know exactly how I'm going to post this. Also, I hope this doesn't if this gets posted before 10:05 p.m. on Wednesday night, I'm in trouble. But,
That'd be bad.
That would be really bad. So I hope everybody is watching this after the 2-hour premiere of Survivor Season 49. Hope I didn't mess that up. Future Tommy, that would be a you problem. But yeah, me and Clemmer, and we will be live. Going to try to do every Wednesday. Like, again, playoff baseball comes up, so we'll have Yankee streams and Mets streams, and that could obviously affect some things and general work travel. But we will try to be live as much as possible every Wednesday at 9:30 for Season 49 right here on the Snuffing Torches YouTube. So subscribe. And again, if we miss a Wednesday, we'll get it up on Thursday. But yeah, also, I guess we should note, we both watched this episode a week ago. Wasn't exactly taking notes in the middle of a theater, so it might not be our most concrete recap, but I remember a lot, and I think we want to use this more as just general cast vibe and everything now that we've seen them for more than a 30-second clip on the Survivor Instagram. Your overall thoughts on the premiere 49?
I was pleasant. I was happy. I guess is an easy way to put it. I'm always nervous. I'm sure everyone watching the same thing. Go into a new season, you're like, all right. Especially if there's no returning cast members, you're like, who are these people? Am I gonna like these people? What am I in for the next? Because we're gonna, anyone watching this show, me and you, we're gonna watch no matter what. So like, who am I spending the next 3 months with? I like these people. I like a good amount of them. In fact, like, there's one tribe, the Red Tribe, right? Like, yeah. I like that whole group. Like, I liked all of them. I'm like, oh my god, like that's pretty rare. You usually have like, oh, I don't, that person.
Yeah, Shannon was a little too hallelujah for me.
I don't know. I
He's a good character though.
I guess but there was no one I didn't like on that tribe. I don't know. I felt like it was a pretty good group. I'm pretty. I don't want to say pleasantly surprised. It is Survivor, and we do enjoy it. But I walked away going, all right. I'm pretty excited for this season. Enthusiastic, I think. How about you?
Yeah, agreed. I thought it was a likable cast. I think that there's some players who have potential to be like strategists and like maybe cutthroat. Hopefully, I feel like that was a common complaint of Season 48 is that it was just kind of one alliance and there weren't enough backstabs and betrayal. But I think this has potential to be a really interesting cast, and I know that it's sort of like an appetizer for Season 50. So I feel like a lot of people I almost feel bad, like maybe won't get the attention it deserves, but maybe on the other hand, it'll draw more people in because they'll be like, oh, I want to get ready for Season 50. Let me check into 49. And I was happy with what we saw. Wasn't the most like insane vote out of all time, but again, it's a good table setter.
And I'm trying to dismiss that thought of like this is an appetizer for 50 because I think you're right. This is still, as I spit food everywhere. I'm sorry, I'm eating lunch, doing this between Pick Central and streaming. Don't have a ton of time. This is a full season Survivor. Yeah. This season should be taken for good or for bad as a season. I'm not looking into 50 yet. Like, let's look at this season as it is, because I think a lot of people are going to fall in that trap. Which I will admit, even sitting down at the theater, I'm like, all right, got to get in the right headspace for this, because this is a real season, and we're there's going to be one day if we live long enough where we don't get seasons of Survivor. So enjoy every one we get, and this is a full one.
I always say even the worst seasons of Survivor are better than anything else on TV. So we don't want to be too spoiled.
Right.
So we'll go again, we're not going to necessarily do a second by second recap, but we'll start with some of the big things. So obviously you have the marooning challenge to start off. I actually got to watch that when I was in Fiji. We were there. I was almost wondering, like, will they see us in the background? But we were pretty edited out. But it was really cool to see Jeff, like, do the whole thing on the beach where he talks to, like, pretty much every contestant and just goes down the line.
I have
And
a
then
question for you, Tommy, about that.
yeah,
So you're there. Are you there before that boat gets there? Are you
correct.
there? So you saw their first steps on the island.
Yes.
How much of that is edited? So like is it they have to tell everyone to get into places, or do people just naturally go there? Or what does that look like behind the scenes?
It pretty much just got right into it again. From what I remember, like I'm pretty sure you got tribe. Obviously, you come in with your tribe on the boat.
Right.
And then I'm sure the tribe mats were colored, I would assume, if I
Okay.
remember correctly. And then, yeah, you stand, maybe you get into position of like height and stuff. But it was pretty much like what you see is what you get. I mean, obviously,
Okay.
it's chopped down to be shorter, but like it was truly just like Jeff's there. Again, no IFB mic in his ear, just going down the line, being like, all right, you, like what that, so that was very cool to see.
So there's no bullshit beforehand where he's shaking everybody's hand. I mean, like, oh, nice to meet you. I'm Jeff. It's pretty much
no,
like that
no.
show. Oh, all right.
Yeah, there was none of that. It was like
Okay.
the show starts, like the second you get on that beach, the show starts.
Okay, that's cool. That's good to know. That's cool.
So interesting. Jason said that he was an alternate. I believe there was another alternate too that were like very last minute ads. That's got to be fascinating to like, because if you're an alternate, you go. So they start at like a Ponderosa type thing where they're all sleeping in tents and like they're not allowed to talk to each other. If you're an alternate there, that's got to be like you're just praying somebody messes up. Like that's got to be such a weird feeling. And then to just be thrown into the real season. I believe somebody else was an alter. I don't remember who. But yeah, that's got to be a surreal feeling.
Oh, I can't imagine. I mean, you said that you're waiting for someone either to get sick or hurt or, like I said, just fucking up some interview or something. And then how many alternates? I think you got me thinking, like, how many alternates have gone to do this and just had to go right back home afterwards? Like, that sucks. Like, how many people were that close to their dream and just never got it?
So I think a lot of times if you're an alternate for one season, you'll get put on the next.
I hope so.
Shaheen, I feel like, was an alternate, if I remember that correctly, for whatever, maybe season 47, then got on season 48 or something. So, I mean, if you get enough through casting where you get to be an alternate, obviously they see something in you.
Of course.
Yeah. Any early thoughts on that? I mean, Jake is a monster.
So is Jake a monster, or is it that this is a pretty small group?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's sort of been the case where you just have one strong guy and he's going to stick out like a sore thumb, but he is big.
He's big, but like we've seen guys though that are like, who's the guy that Nate Gloves from Jonathan. A few seasons ago? Yeah, like that guy is like an actual like. If you saw him in the street, you like, if you saw Jake in the street, you wouldn't be like, oh fuck. Like,
no, he wouldn't take.
But it is a small group, which I think might be important down the line.
Yeah, I mean, it'll put a huge target on his back for sure the second they get to emerge, but should protect him early on. We were laughing, like, obviously it ends up being very sad, but when he's on the beach and he says something like, my dad just got glaucoma, I think everybody's kind of like, all right, well, glaucoma, not always that bad. But then when he's like, he's going to be blind by the end of the year, and this is the last season of Survivor he could watch, that was devastating. Like, that is such a unique story. Like, and I'm happy for his dad that he's able to watch his son on Survivor. Like, I will say, probably save that a little bit, Jake. Maybe you keep that one for a final tribal council speech. I would say. Also, his wife, he told somebody that his wife is literally, he's missing giving birth. So Jake has a lot of personal life stuff going on that, like, I might be shutting my mouth, Jake.
Jake's got a lot going on. The idea that he's going to come home to a 1-month-old baby that is pretty wild. But I know some people were saying afterwards, like, oh, he said, like, oh, my wife let me go. Yeah. It's like, well, okay, how did that conversation go? Exactly.
I think he was like, I gave her the opportunity to not let me go or something. Clearly he wanted to go. I mean, I don't know what his financial situation is, but like, assuming he's not rich, assuming none of them are like loaded and rich, you get paid the longer you last on Survivor, you get paid more money. So he's a guy that should at least, we're going to guess, probably make the merge just based on being a physical challenge asset to his tribe early on. If he could make, $40K or something for his family, that's nothing to scoff at.
And he's a correctional officer, so he's he works in prisons and stuff. That's not an easy job, but it's not a job also
Canadian too, yeah.
You're like rich doing, so I'm sure that you could, just like most people, you could use 30-40 grand. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. So I liked his. I mean, he had the shoe bandit stuff. I thought
that I didn't love.
So why didn't you love it?
What does that do? Like all right, I'm gonna create chaos. Well, how does that benefit? Like, what is anything you do should be all right? Well, what's the benefit for my game? How does this help? Just having chaos for chaos' sake, I don't know if that helps his game. And also, seems kind of shitty. People want their shoes. Don't fuck with their shoes.
So what I would say is I kind of agree with you in this, but in the sense of like, if you're going to do it, you got to go all out. Don't throw the shoe 10 feet away, 10 feet where it's easy to find, because then that's very clearly just like, I think someone threw my shoe. And then like someone is going to, probably be like, who threw my shoe? I think if you're going to do it, you got to bury or throw the shoe in the ocean, bury the shoe, which is it shitty? Yes. Now, what is the benefit? I think that people are already frazzled. They're on Survivor. They're hungry. They're tired. If they start missing like shoes and stuff, I think it's going to probably get them in a mindset where they're not right. And they might put a target on their back with like erratic behavior. Like if you remember Russell and Samoa, I think would hide the machete and stuff. I mean, Russell was obviously on another level, but I do think there could be a benefit to it, and where it just makes people act irrationally and maybe puts a target on their own back early. And also you'd be like, oh, we got to vote this person. I don't have any fucking shoes. They can't help us in a challenge.
So here's the other way of looking at it. Right? We acknowledge this is a big guy doing the Jake, right? He's probably safe to the merge. Also, don't you want your tribe to be as strong as possible to help you avoid any sort of people getting eliminated? Now, if he does this shit post merge, when there is a giant target on his back to create chaos, okay, now we're doing something. But doing it now seems very counterproductive.
Yeah, again, it's not a move I would do, but I appreciated the good TV element of it. And it looks like from the scenes for next week, he might do it again or something.
Yeah, so the shoe bandit, I think, is alive and well.
Yeah. So that first challenge, the yellow tribe wins. So they get their supplies and shit. And so that sends blue and red to the sweat savvy challenge, whatever. And it's Alex and Rizzo, Rizgod as he's called. They have to dig, put together a puzzle, and then like dig to find a thing that they go raise a flag with or whatever key, whatever the hell it was. I thought this was one of the most like intense, fascinating moments of the episode is when Alex gets a huge lead, and then Rizgod, who's like, I have no chance at a puzzle, I'm just bad at puzzles, just basically takes his pieces over and goes and copies Alex. Like, smart move. I mean, he did not realize that he was missing a piece for a while, but I think everybody was kind of thinking, are you going to do it? Are you going to do it? Again, I think there's part of me that's like, there should be rules against that, put up a divider or something. But then there's part of me where it's like, you're stranded on a fucking deserted island. You're trying to win supplies for your tribe. Do what you got to do.
I thought this was really well edited too. This entire sequence was really well done. Probably the best edited sequence of the show, of this episode. And I really liked the back and forth between Rizzo and who was it again?
Alex, the DC ass kisser.
Right. It was a really interesting dynamic between those two. Like Alex couldn't be too mad, but yet was frustrated himself. It must be so frustrating looking for something you can't find it. And it made you kind of appreciate who I didn't know if I would like going in, like a Riz God, like, all right, here we go. Yeah. I like this kid a lot. And I was like, all right, but I also liked how Alex dealt with it. I don't know. I thought it was like a really well done portion of the show. And I like the fact that they do allow people to go cheat, even though cheating's bad, I guess. But like in this state, it's not, I don't even know if it's really cheating because there's no rules against it. So
it's not cheating.
It's not cheating. No, so I don't know. I really enjoyed it, but I really enjoyed how well done it was. And kind of that personal dynamic and the competitive nature. Like that's like why I love Survivor. So it's like that was the first moment watching this episode. We're like, all right, I'm in on this season. Like, all right, let's go. So that I really enjoyed that whole back and forth.
I like both of these players a lot too.
Me too.
Same thing. It's like Rizzo, what's he going to be like? I thought he was very funny, quick, talking to himself during the challenge, had a lot of very funny lines, good in confessionals. I think he's going to be very likable, easy to root for. Also, he is a Barstool and Snuffing Torches fan. He DM'd me, so we're always nice to those people. We're fair, Rizzo.
Rizzo, fair, though, but yeah, I like
we'll be fair when we have to be, but you undeniably get a leg up. We undeniably get a leg up.
I will say with Rizzo though, like there is a line where it's like too much, and he did a good job of going to that line, and then like and maybe it's also how it's edited, but like he never annoyed me, but I could see how he potentially maybe could, but he never did.
Also, again, we watched about a week ago, but if I remember correctly, I think he was more Rizzo, like he was more, funny and over the top ish in like his confessionals and when he was talking to himself, which I think is the way to do it. And then when you're with your tribe, you contain it a little bit because you don't want to be like that person that's, automatically, getting eyeballs on you all the time.
I agree.
He walked that balance beam well. And then Alex, I just think he's fun. Like he is almost like a House of Cards character. Where he mentioned that he's a political aide or whatever for someone in Congress. He
political communications director.
Yeah, no less than 12 times throughout the episode. He mentioned that. They showed his little audition video too. But him blatantly being like, I kiss ass. Like I work in DC politics and I kiss ass and I'm gonna do that on the island, I thought was cool. I think he's gonna be I don't know if he's gonna win. Like I think he might be too like he's gonna get exposed eventually, I think, for like that type of behavior. But it was interesting to watch. And the bromance between him and Jake was kind of funny, where Jake is just like before they even talked, when Alex was still on the channel, Jake's like, I can't wait for that guy to get back. Me and Alex, we just have a connection. I just fucking looked him in the eyes. They're broing down. Everyone's like, are they like a gay couple? Like, what's going on here between Jake and Alex? So that bromance that stemmed for literally no reason, I thought was kind of funny. And honestly, I think Jake is the perfect ally for Alex, where, Jake's kind of this big meathead. Like he's probably someone that's susceptible to Alex's ass kissing.
It was literally love at first sight with these guys.
Yeah.
It was like, I think you're right. I think you can get exposed because he said, I love telling people what they want to hear. And I think that is a really good strong suit in sales or probably in communications. But in a game like this, where there's so much backstabbing, if you talk shit, eventually you will about somebody, and you also are the same person, you love this guy, that can bite you in the ass.
For sure.
In some ways, this is a great game for that skill, and in some ways, I think this is a really bad game for that skill.
Yeah, I think that it's entertaining to watch, but I think that if it's too phony, like people won't want to align with him because they'll like see through it as like bullshit as opposed to a genuine connection.
I agree.
Let's I'm trying to think of what let's just go through tribe by tribe, I guess, and maybe that'll jog our memories of big moments. So the yellow tribe, we got Jason, Christina, Matt, MC, Sophie, and Steven. I feel like this is the tribe we saw the least of, for sure. I feel like I don't remember a ton about these people. I think Steven seems very charismatic. I think that, he talked about like being bullied in high school and, that developed this sense of humor or whatever that he has. I think he comes off as likable. So Sophie I thought she was pretty funny. Like she was very nervous when she got to the mat for the first challenge. And then she's like farting and stuff and they're burping or whatever it was.
Yeah, she probably was, but yeah.
She is somebody who she might be like an easy first target for that tribe, just like if she is annoying. But to me, it didn't come off as annoying as a viewer. Like it was like, oh, I think she's kind of funny and quirky.
I thought it was just like fun, goofy person to have around. I mean, obviously we didn't see this tribe a bunch. I mean, this one girl, Christina, I don't know if she spoke the entire episode. So like there's people in this tribe. There's people in this tribe we literally did not hear from. So you're right. This tribe was basically ignored. But everything they showed to Sophie seemed like fun and goofy. I thought that was great.
Matt seems interesting.
Matt seems interesting.
Like a quiet guy who's going to kind of stay back. Like it was funny. They were all struggling to like start the fire. And then they were like, all right, Matt, you want to do this? And he had it in like 30 seconds.
I guess he can do everything out there, but he doesn't. He's probably watched enough seasons of the show to know I don't want to interject and be that guy and take over. But then you're watching people kind of fail. But I think his approach is right. Where like take a back seat, let people also just like have their own Survivor experience. Let them try to create fire if they want to, and they want your help. Be like, hey, I'm here if you need me.
I thought that was a really positive telltale sign. Like, yeah, a lot of times you get that older guy, outdoorsman type character, and you get to camp and it's immediately, all right, put this palm front here, build this here, build this here. And sure, it's helpful, but it's a little bit annoying when you kind of dub yourself tribe leader. I think the fact that he had the awareness to stand back and then help when he needed to makes me think really highly of him. Like, think that he could be a real player.
I agree. Go back to Sophie for a second. Do you like the band Haim? You ever watch their stuff, Haim?
I don't know what that is.
The three sisters in a band. They do pop music. It's good. I like their stuff. But the older sister makes these weird, goofy faces and acts kind of goofy, just like Sophie. So if anyone out there likes Haim, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, it's like a fun energy, especially when like other people are more serious. It's kind of how that band kind of works. And people here, obviously, in Survivor can be pretty serious. So having that like goofy energy, I think if she's on the show for a while, I could see her being a fan favorite. But like you said, I could also see her being voted off next week.
It's fun for us to watch, in 6 minutes of total every week. Like, maybe did she get annoying, after 72 hours? Maybe. I'm not sure. We'll see. I think that's something to watch because they clearly gave her like the goofball edit early on.
And she appeared to be that way. But like you said, we saw her for 6 minutes. Right. Is she doing that?
I liked her, though.
I did too.
She stuck out at least. And
Me too.
We didn't see a lot from this tribe. Blue Tribe, we talked about Alex, talked about Jake. Jeremiah, I think he's got potential as a player. Seems like a smart guy. He's got that infectious laugh. Seems like people like being around him. Again, didn't see a ton of him, but I think he's got like potential for sure.
Maybe. I don't know. He has I didn't find him to be super trustworthy. I don't know. Like, I'm curious to see who he aligns with. Like, who does he kind of build a real bond with? Because if he can kind of bond with someone who is more trustworthy and he can be kind of more like the guy behind the scenes pulling the strings, then that could be an interesting match for him. I don't know. I'm jury's out on for me.
I thought Sophie had promise. I thought she seemed like she could be a good player. We saw her have some strategy discussions. Annie almost on the chopping block, but I like that. It was Alex who said to her, like, I kind of want that mom type character. And she like didn't want him to say that. But that's something I've always thought going in to a season 2 was like, I do think whether it's a male or a female, like it could be Matt or Annie. I think a lot of times those older players tend to be a little less cutthroat and a little bit more loyal. Obviously, there's exceptions to every rule, but I think that's almost the archetype in that casting. And so I do think that is a good mindset from Alex. But Annie, to me, she might seem a little like she's got a little bit of Carolyn vibes, not quite as unique as Carolyn from season 43. But, she might be a little off the wall because then she was throwing out other names. Like she was kind of in an alliance. She immediately went back on it, like want to work with the girl. So she's going to be, I think, an interesting character to watch. She almost got voted out.
I think she's on the way out. I don't think you mentioned Carolyn. The thing with Carolyn though is Carolyn was really good at challenges.
Yeah.
She's and then also was just probably more annoying potentially, but also just more likable. Mm-hmm. Where Annie, I don't think has those same, like you're right. She's like a Walmart version of Carolyn in some ways. But like, I don't know if that's gonna work, and I didn't love her energy from what we saw, like this personal and like it didn't seem to click with the rest of the tribe at all. I don't know. I think she is in big shit if they lose again.
Hold on, we completely fucked up. Or Sophie and Sage look like the same exact fucking person. I think Sage is the one that is the quirky one on the red tribe.
Oh, you're right.
I was looking at this graphic. We're looking at some graphic.
I thought the same thing. Who's Sophie?
Is this a misprint? Who the fuck is Sophie? No, this has got to be a misprint. They look exactly the same.
I have another thing that I use as a resource. Let me look at that.
So I saw that and I was like, man, I really thought that girl's name was Sage. Like I thought that the quirky girl's name was Sage. It is.
There is a Sophie. Maybe she's another one that was just so ignored in that tribe. We just never saw her. Oh, I know who Sophie is now. Yeah, Sophie's different. I know who Sophie is now. Sophie we didn't really see very much of.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
when we talking
exactly like Sage.
When we're talking Goofy, we're talking Sage.
Yeah. So
everything we said.
There was a live chat just now. They probably were going nuts.
Yes.
Again, I told you guys this isn't going to be our cleanest episode, but we quite literally had no other option. We'll be better going forward. But I mean okay. So there's Sophie and there's Sage. And then there's another Sophie.
Right.
Sophie on blue, I
our
know.
goofy take was about Sage.
Yeah, everything we just said was about Sage on
Right.
the Red Tribe.
And I don't have much to say at all about Sophie because they ignored her. They ignored
I
that whole
don't even
tribe.
remember who that is.
I do now.
I'm looking through the Survivor Instagram, like the cast. All right, now I think I got Sage. All right, now, I mean, Sage and am I crazy, or do Sage and Sophie look
very
more
similar
alike than two people have ever looked alike?
in
Look
that picture, but I think in real life they don't.
No, even like, look at this screenshot I'm about to send you. If you guys go on the Survivor Instagram, and like you watch some of their cast bios and they have these little videos, I mean, these two look like exactly the same person. Look at the screenshots I just sent you.
Yeah, they look very similar.
They look wildly similar.
Yeah.
All right, so we fucked that up. So I have nothing to say about Sophie on yellow.
No, nothing to
Sophie
say.
on blue seems like she could be promising, and Sage on red is, we just talked about. She's
Right.
the whatever band lady.
Correct.
All right, we got through that. So let's talk about the Red Tribe. So obviously you have Rizzo. So we sort of saw an alliance form there, like a possible alliance of 4 between Rizzo, Nate, Savannah, and Shannon, which would leave Sage and Jawan on the outs. I like that foursome a lot. That to me feels like a good Survivor alliance. You have Rizzo, like the young, funny guy, super fan. I was blown away by Nate. I thought Nate was really good. So he's like an Avengers producer, whatever. He kept that under wraps, but you know, he wanted to be clear that he wasn't being seen as like the dad or the old guy of the group. But I think he seems like a very calm and cerebral player.
Yep.
Savannah, I think, was promising in the sense of like, I think she could have some villain in her. Like she was kind of one who was like, I don't know how I feel about all this kumbaya shit that Shannon's doing on the beach with the horoscopes and shit. That people talking about horoscopes. Oh, that's what I wanted to bring up. Jeremiah was, so here I am thinking, oh, you know, I'm never going to get cast. Like, what's my unique pitch?
Yeah.
No male Taurus has ever won Survivor, as Jeremiah pointed out. So if he wins, then I'm fucked. But I'm a male Taurus, so maybe that could be my thing, is that I'm the first male Taurus to ever win Survivor.
Horoscopes suck.
They completely suck. But if you're on a tribe with a bunch of horoscope people, you just gotta.
Well, you got to play along, yeah.
Which I think Savannah did a good job doing, where she's like, this isn't really for me. But her and Shannon had a good bond, and Nate Rizzo. So I like that alliance a lot. I could see
now
that.
Savannah is interesting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, could have a little villain in her.
Former reporter. Why former? What happened?
Do you have the answer?
I don't. I'm asking.
Maybe she just fucking moved on in her career. But yeah, it is weird.
Then wouldn't you say what you're
right? Yeah, that is weird. Let me look up.
It's weird. And she's from Atlanta, right? A residence in Atlanta. CNN's in Atlanta. Is that what she a CNN reporter? I don't know anything about her.
Yeah, I'm a former broadcast journalist.
It's a weird thing to call yourself.
Yeah, and she like wanted to hide that too, where she was like, I don't want people to know.
She didn't want people to know she was a reporter.
Like, I don't think anyone give a fuck.
You don't want to give a fuck about
reporters, Savannah. Yeah, that's weird. That is a good point. September 5th, 2024, Instagram, as I wrap up and reflect on my time in TV news. I owe so many of you a thank you. My decision to pursue journalism. Hopefully something better. Seems like she just wanted to do something else. Weird. I didn't even think of that. That's weird. I wonder, like, why. I'll try to find her LinkedIn page. Oh, now she's a communications and marketing specialist, it looks like.
All right. Just say your dad then. Why you say you're a former reporter?
Maybe she just likes the fact that
I think she likes saying she used to be on TV.
Yeah, I think that might be it. I think we might have got to the bottom of that. She's pretty hot too. I'll give her that.
I was wondering the Tommy. Like, I was guessing she would be the most likely to be a Mrs. Smokes from this group in a perfect world.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, I go for my blondes, but I think the only blonde's Annie. But yeah, it would probably be Savannah would probably have the best shot at being Mrs. Smoke. So congrats.
Wow.
What an honor. And then, yeah, Shannon, like, I hate all that. Like, I actually liked her at first. I forget what it was, but she did something that I was like, oh, I think this girl's pretty smart. And then when she went into like the let's all meditate together on the beach, I was a little bit out on her. But it is a good way, I guess, to build a tribe bond or whatever, and like make yourself a part of the tribe. But not for me.
I think that stuff's all nonsense, but she didn't seem stupid though. Like I think she could play a good game. I just think that stuff's
Yeah,
nonsense.
I agree.
The rest of how she kind of approached the island, I was like, all right, I kind of like this person. I like the whole Red Tribe. I think the Red Tribe was very
Dewan we
interesting.
didn't see a lot of, but I liked him trying to make the fire, and he was like, "I've been practicing this for like 3 years or whatever." So
Yeah.
he seems like he could be on the outs of that tribe early on, but I liked the cut of his jib. He's not going to be my jib cut necessarily, but I did like the cut of his jib. So I think that's pretty much the whole cast, right? I'm trying to think if there's any. I mean, we'll talk about the vote, but I'm trying to think if there's any storylines that we kind of missed out on.
I guess just the challenge itself.
Yeah.
You did that challenge. 200 pounds. When I was
I think
a
it was
kid,
300.
300 pounds. Oh my
we were
God.
told 300, 400. I don't know what it was, but yeah. So if people watching haven't watched the Survivor Influencer thing, I did go watch that on the Survivor YouTube. Yep. And by the time this is out, I think my own cut of it will be out also on my own YouTube, Tommy Smokes, where it's like the Zack Snyder cut, but just all Tommy. It's just the experience through my lens. So go watch both of those. Leave some Tommy chants in the comments on the Survivor page. There's some poll I've been tweeting out where like the CBS sent out some email like, who do you think the winner pick should be of like the influencer group? And I've got the Tommy chanters spamming that vote. I am now up to 66% of the vote. Nobody else has more than 7% of the vote. So I think maybe the other influencers didn't get that email and they didn't see it yet. But I'm hoping they don't see it so that CBS will see that, be like, holy shit, Tommy dominated that vote. So go to my Twitter, vote for me there if the poll's still open. Anyway, challenge, credit to me. I didn't fall during the challenge. We saw a couple people fall in the ropes, climbing through the ropes. Also, I watched it back. So like in the influencer one they did, I didn't get like mud on my face, and I couldn't remember how I went through. In the cut I'm putting out on my channel, I have my run of it, and what I did is I went on my back. I went face first, like head first on my back, and then just like clawed like that.
Probably a smarter way to do it.
Yeah, like maybe it slows you down by 2 seconds, but I think it's a worthy 2 seconds to not have mud all over your face. And
then you're taking it out of your eyes.
And I had contacts in too, so that was a big concern for me, is I didn't want to get the mud in my contacts.
Right.
But yeah, very hard challenge. Again, like way harder than it looks. I said this on the episode we did last week, recapping it, but truly, like, snake was super heavy. Getting the snake back through those ropes was goddamn near impossible. Then the ball challenge, we were just so cooked by the end of that. But that's like a classic fun Survivor challenge, obviously. And the yellow and red tribes won that, sending the blue tribe to tribal council. What did you think? I thought it was a fun first challenge.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of appreciate it a little bit more because we had just watched your element of it, so I was like, oh, it's kind of cool. Tommy did this too. But yeah, I think it seems like a good challenge.
I did the challenge for you to do challenge too. Actually, we didn't like record that, but we got to test run the second immunity challenge. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want to spoil it, but I could talk more about that next week when we recap it. So yeah, blue goes to tribal. So you have Alex and Jake, the bromance / maybe homosexual relationship, which is totally fine. Whatever they decide to do, we're happy for them. And Jeremiah and Sophie are sort of with them too. And so that sort of leaves Annie and Nicole on the outs, on the chopping block. Both were pretty bad in the challenge. Annie was going to be safe, but then she started trying to be like, well, like, I don't want to be the outsider. Like, if I'm just next, like, it's never a good spot when you're the decoy vote. Like, because that kind of means you're like the second person that's going to get voted out. And credit to her for having the awareness to like recognize that. But so it comes down to Annie or Nicole. They end up unanimously voting out Nicole, who was blindsided, which is shocking. I don't know how she was blindsided. She was clearly awful in the challenge. The puke, by the way. Maybe they'll censor that on CBS. I doubt it. Like, I'm sure we just saw the cut that's going to get aired. We saw full on. I've never seen full on vomit like that in Survivor.
That was a lot of throw up.
A lot of throw up. Way too much throw up. What did you think of this vote? Like, I think it makes sense to vote one of them out. I think Nicole had more potential as an ally. Like, I think that Annie already seems like she could be a little flaky. Not sure how much you could trust her. Nicole, maybe a little bit more trustworthy, but also seems like a better overall player. Like she'd have a better strategic brain. Big fan of the show. I liked her energy, but she gets voted out. I always struggle with this. Where like, would you rather keep someone who might be more loyal but is also a better strategic thinker, or would you rather keep like the wild card?
I think a lot of it has to do with a different factor entirely, just like who's going to hurt us worse in challenges.
Yeah,
Like it's so early that I think for this first vote, when you not vote someone off, you almost have to do it for strength for a tribe, just because you can't carry that person around for the entire until post merge. So like, if you keep Nicole around because you're like loyal because of loyalty, that means you got to have Nicole do every challenge until the merge with you. That's tough.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Annie's any great shakes, but I don't know. I think it's pretty clearly one of those two for me if I was voting. And then it depends, I guess, on some other factors, but I think I probably would have done the same thing.
There was like no talk of shot in the dark either, right? If I remember correctly.
Well, there was. Nicole brought it up. She's like, if I think it's me, I'm going to use it. And then at one point during the tribal, she said to Alex, am I safe?
Yeah.
And he said yes. And then that allowed her not to use a shot in the dark. And also was the reason she was so blindsided.
Yeah.
But obviously, I think looking back on it, she obviously should have used it.
I think
but you could argue Annie should have used it too, and she didn't. You know what I mean? Like, you can make the case.
So I've thought about that. Like, I think early on, like, I think pre-merge is actually probably the ideal time to use your shot in the dark because, like, I don't know. I think later on, the alliances get so convoluted where it's like there's voting blocks and it's always shifting where it's sort of harder to know if you're on the outs. I feel like a lot of times pre-merge, when they're in these tribes, you kind of should have an idea if you're on the outs. And if you think you're a vote or even a decoy vote, I might just use it for the hell of it because it's also another reason is obviously you can't vote when you use it. And I think in the merge, your vote becomes more important. I think a lot of these early votes, they're pretty damn near unanimous. So I probably would have used it. But again, it's if she was being told she's safe, I get it.
I like that strategy. I also like the idea of like, all right, there's 6 people in the tribe, and now there's 5, right? Like, if I go to the merge, it's 12. So just from the numbers, I have a 1 in 12 shot I get knocked out or 1 in 5.
Right, exactly.
1 in 5, 1 in 6. So I think you're right. I think you probably should, just based on those odds, probably try to use it before. Also, like, I think there's a benefit for being like, hey, I already used it. You know that like,
right.
People know that. It just like makes you seem a little bit in a bizarre way more trustworthy, just because like, all right, well, I know that person doesn't have this thing up their sleeve. Even though it's like you really weren't being trustworthy at all.
I was going to say the downside to it is that your alliance will be like, let's say the votes weren't on you. Like, let's say Annie used it. Then your alliance is going to be like, what the hell? Like, you don't trust us?
Right.
So it's two-edged sword for sure.
I get, the way I always want to, like, you could always be like, hey, I'm playing my shot in the dark tonight. Just to let you guys know. But then do you want to like make that public? I guess maybe if you do, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a tough spot.
Then you think about splitting votes. So yeah. All right. I think we pretty much recapped again. I apologize if we missed stuff, but again, wonky week. But I thought it was, I think it's better to do it and have this out Wednesday night than to like rewatch it Thursday morning and not get an episode up till Thursday night. So I'm glad we did it this way.
It would have been tough to, it's our schedules. Unfortunately, like with baseball and everything else going on too, my schedule's crazy. Like this time of year is stuff. Luckily, with you not doing advisors anymore, hopefully you'll have like more time.
Hopefully more time.
These next few weeks, I won't be on every episode, unfortunately, because of baseball stuff, probably.
Yeah, same. Sage and Sophie. Sorry about that mix-up. I mean, they just look too much alike.
I do. The problem, honestly, I'm gonna take us off the hook here and blame more the producers in some ways where they just didn't show that tribe enough. Like we talked a little about like how Jason was a alternate. That's the last time I think we heard from Jason for the rest of the episode.
So might have had one confessional, and I think that was it.
I just feel like I said I don't think Christina got a confessional. So like there's people we just haven't heard from over there. I'm sure we will hear from them later on. But yeah,
it almost makes me think, do you think they're going to like run the table pre-merge and like never really go to tribal? Because like the red tribe, we didn't see them go to tribal, but we already sort of see that there's an alliance of 4 and we spent more time with them. Like, I think it was like season 41 or something. I think it was the blue tribe in 41 that Heather and like Erica were on, where like they just never lost. So we like didn't know
we didn't see them
pre-merge. Like obviously it's good good for your game to win challenges and not go to tribal, but it does hurt your like viewership with the audience.
I guess, but in theory, you'll get it eventually. I guess,
right. Unless you're Heather.
Yeah.
So let's wrap with jib cut 0.0 and winner pick. We'll start with jib cut. That's tough. I like the cut of a lot of these people's jibs.
Me too.
I like the cut of Matt's jib. I like the cut of Alex's jib. I like the cut of Rizzo's jibs. Rizzo almost seems too obvious. I don't want to give it. I did love the cut of Rizzo's jib. I'm going to go Nate. I'm going to say I like the cut of Nate's jib. I think he's a true, like, we didn't see a ton of them, but from what I saw, I said, Nate, I like the cut of your jib.
That's fair. Just like a really, like, seems like a good personality. I like how cerebral he was. I liked kind of how he, like, would explain things.
Yeah.
Kind of his perspective on things. He was like, I mean, I'm almost the same age as Nate's, but, like, that's the guy I would be like, oh, I could be, like, friends with that guy. Like, more so than other people in the cast.
Very clearly, like, the adult in the room, it felt like.
But wasn't, like, a dick about it.
No, not at all.
Which we've seen in previous shows.
Yeah, and he was conscious of it, too.
You kind of saw it with Annie a little bit at times. With just a little of that vibe of, like, eh. But, like, with him, I'm like, oh, no, he's along for the ride. I like Nate a lot. On my cut of the jib, I would give it to Matt. Another older guy who didn't force himself in situations. Now, is he going to be able to keep his mouth shut moving forward with stuff? I don't know, because he seems like he wants to kind of jump in. But the fact that he didn't, I give him a lot of credit. And I think it's going to help his game.
0.0. I mean, there's no way Annie wins.
Yeah, Annie's the pick there.
There's no chance Annie wins.
I think like if they lose and when they do lose again, because I don't think that tribe's particularly strong. I think they actually got kind of dealt a bad card there, team strength. She's fucked. So
yeah, I mean I don't know if there's another obvious one. I
shouldn't say they have the big guy, so I guess they do have strength. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean Jake would probably is going to have a really tough path to win because he's going to have such a target on his back.
They have Jake and Alex. Maybe they should be better, but I feel like the girls in the other tribes are a lot stronger. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not willing to throw out any other 0.0 yet.
I'm not either. Either we didn't spend enough time with them, or they seemed likable enough.
Yeah, there is the element of like if you got like no screen time, then maybe you're not going to win, right? But there's nobody off the top of the bat where, like I said, I think Jake will have a hard time. Shannon might be a little too woo-woo, but you never know. She didn't seem like a terrible player.
Annie's the only obvious.
Annie's the only obvious one.
Yeah.
Then winner pick. Oh, this is tough. All right, Yellow Tribe. I think the only person with I would pick Steven from that tribe. Blue Tribe, I might pick maybe Jeremiah or Sophie. Red Tribe. It's tough.
Yellow, I would go Jason. Just a shot in the dark there. Blue, I would choose Sophie. I think she kind of what you were saying there. And on the red, I don't know if Nate can win or would be like I think Nate can win. I don't know if he'd be my pick to win.
I'm going to take Steven as my winner pick. I think he seemed likable. He'll probably be pretty good in challenges, but not enough where he's like a huge target.
He's a little scientist. He's smart.
Yeah, we got a little bit of human story with him talking about being bullied, and I think he was 4'11" till whatever is like till he hit his growth spurt. Like, buddy, same. I bet I have you beat for how long I was 4'11" until it was like 12th grade.
So me too. You were like, oh, I didn't. It wasn't until summer between sophomore and junior year.
I think it was my junior and senior year that I actually got to like 5 foot.
I was a 4'9" freshman. I graduated. I was 6'1".
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll pick Steve, but I don't
hate that pick.
There's a lot of people I think can win. There's nobody that jumped out as like an obvious winner.
I'm just, fuck it. I'm just going to ride the Nate train.
All right. Go for it.
Let's go. Let's go. I really liked him. I want to be his friend. Nate, I'm on your team.
All right. That's all I got. You got anything else?
No, that's it. I'm enthused. I'm excited for this season, and I you said always that worry, but I don't know. I hope people. I'm guessing people will like these people. I'm hoping the reaction from fans, our fans, or just fans in Survivor in general, like fans of the show, will like this too. I think so, right?
Yeah,
People seem pretty
it's
happy
always
in the
early to
theater.
tell. It's always early to tell. Like the heart of Survivor doesn't come until the merge usually. You just want the pre-merge to be kind of entertaining enough. You don't need the most insane blindsides, but you want to just feel like you have enough likable people who are going to be good players who are going to get a good merge. And I felt that. I mean, it's early, but I felt that.
I was genuinely entertained with this episode.
Yeah.
It made me like looking forward, and it was cool to see it early. But the only shitty part is the second one in a row we've seen early, which is great. But then it means you got to wait longer for the next one. It's like fuck,
Yeah.
like you kind of want that Survivor fix again.
All right, so that's it. What also I forget. Well, yeah, I think there's a chance we'll be able to get screeners. I got to reach back out to them. But if we get screeners ahead of time, where we could even tape Wednesday afternoon if there's a Yankee or Met playoff game or something,
That would be huge.
That'd be huge.
That would be gigantic to get those.
Again, the goal is to be live.
I like to be live because I like to see what the because I do like to see what people say about this too.
Obviously
we have like
you can't do that, but
our commenters, the commenters I do for my like my GM streams, and the commenters for this show are the best commenters in the business. Those are the two smartest commenters. They do a great job. So I love the comments because sometimes they bring up really good points. And they also have really good history with Survivor. So I like doing it live better. I just don't know if I'm able to.
Yeah, well, again, follow Snuffing Torches, Twitter, Instagram, follow our personal accounts, and we'll have updates. But we'll get you an episode every week this season. But we'll figure out when. But yeah, hope everyone enjoyed. Like, subscribe. Podcast will be out as well. And I really hope I don't fuck this up and put this out too early.
Don't do that.
Yeah. All right, that's it. See you guys next week.